The moon hung over the Chesapeake Bay off the eastern shore of Virginia, creating shimmers of diamond sparkles across the undulating water as it sent wave after wave upon the shore. The inky water caught the moon's reflection, but the night swallowed most of the illumination, so even the ships anchored in the bay were only visible by the lights on their decks. The waterfowl were now silent, asleep on their perches, no longer searching for food. The waves cast sea foam, seaweed, and shells upon the shore as the tide rolled in, and the beach accepted the deposits of sea glass that the ocean deemed worthy to leave for whoever was lucky enough to discover the gifts. Lance Greene might have appreciated the peaceful night, since sleep was elusive and his beachfront house had a perfect view of the bay. But, as usual on sleepless nights, he stayed inside in his spare room that he had turned into a studio. The modest one-story home, nestled behind a large dune, sat on a slight hill overlooking the bay. He had been immediately drawn to the house, the wide windows allowing light to chase out the dark corners during the daytime. The cedar frame had turned gray with age, but the previous owners had painted it with a clear, weather-resistant stain, making sure it would last against the forces of nature. The front of the house faced the road, a small porch framing the front door, almost as an afterthought. Lance knew the heart of the house would be facing the bay and the sunsets, so the foyer would only be usable as an entrance, not a place to gather. But that hadn't bothered him at the time. He had no one to welcome to his home anyway. The realtor had wanted to show him other, more exclusive properties, code word for more expensive and larger, but Lance had walked away from the hawkish woman with his hand up, silencing her prattle. With a fierce glower sent her way, he noted she stayed outside while he had roamed inside by himself. By himself. That was the way he liked most things. He found life was easier when he separated himself from others. Their needs, wants, desires no longer became his responsibility. Thoughts of his former self, before it all went to hell in Afghanistan, were pushed to the back of his mind. Just as he suspected, the focus of the house was toward the back, facing the bay, and as he wandered through the empty rooms, he had no trouble visualizing what his life could be, in this nowhere place on the shore. The former owners had taken the smaller rooms and opened them to create a large area, containing both the long living room and dining room, which flowed into the kitchen. A few upgrades in there were fine with him. He was not a foodie and had no intentions of becoming one. Off the living room was a screened porch, large and accommodating. The lines of the space were pleasing, with vaulted ceilings and large windows allowing the sunlight to spear inside. He had sucked in a deep breath, feeling as though he might have finally found a place where he could breathe. The master bedroom was wide enough for his king-sized bed, and the adjoining bathroom had been upgraded as well. Not a small man, he appreciated the oversized glass-walled shower. Nodding to himself, he discovered the other two bedrooms. One faced the side of the house, positioned so it received both morning and afternoon sun. The lighted space beckoned to him, and he recognized it for what it was, an out-of-the-way, perfect place to land. He had walked back outside, after glancing into the other bedroom, hall bathroom, and laundry room, and stalked toward the realtor, ignoring her eyes widening as he approached. "I'll take it." Her gaze had jumped from him to the house behind, and with a wide smile she said, "Lovely. Let's go get the offer signed." Her curious questions about his reasons for moving to the eastern shore went unanswered. She had given up her inquisition, as his stoic persona left her with nothing to do but focus on filling out the paperwork, not gaining information on the newest resident-to-be. Now, a year later, bending over the table, he sat on his stool, peering through his tabletop, lighted, magnifying glass, his hands holding the delicate wire and shards of sea glass that he used in his artwork. The work was meticulous, but he relished the creative process from idea to design to completion. An exquisite piece,